I'm excited. In today's video, I'm going to show you two of my favorite two-player games. Right now, if someone came over and said, Ryan, let's play a game, it's the two of us, I'm grabbing one of these games. They're both just so cool. We all been there. You get some games, you just love it, you just want to play it. You just want to play it. So you're like, okay, I got to find someone to play with. You're just looking for the right opportunity. These are those games for me. I just want to play them so bad. So I'll just show you. Here they are. We got Toy Battle and Orapa Space. Am I saying that right? No clue, but let's get into them. Hi, I'm Ryan, and welcome to the Board Game Journey, where you are joining me to play 1,000 games. We are currently at 73 plus 2, 75. We are at 75 games played. I mean, it's fun. Coming up soon, I have a video. We're going to be crossing 100 real soon here. So let's get into today's games. These really are some of my favorite two-player games. I've decided to share it with you guys. If you haven't played it, I think you might enjoy it. First up is Orapa Space. Am I saying it right? I have no clue. Please let me know if I'm saying it wrong. Now, I guess I never played the first one. That was Orapa Mine, and it was on the BGA. My buddy said they played it when I told them I got this game. Now, this game, I'm super excited about. When I first saw it, it just looked super interesting. I think because I was a kid, I played this game. It was called Lasers, where you had to like shoot a laser, and you had to figure out the different mirrors to get it like off the board. So something about ricocheting lasers was already a genre I was into. So I heard this was like, when I heard it described, my first instinct, which I'm not the first one to probably think this, was this felt like Battleship, but like way better. This is like gamers Battleship. So it's a really cool concept. So once you see it, it's one of those games where I'll just have to show you because it'll make way more sense. So let's just get into it now. The box, oh man. Here are the components. Let's just get the board set up, shebang. So each player will receive a board, and then they have these magnetic planets that go on the board. Now this is done in secret, so we'll just say that was my placement. So we'll put it here so you can see it. We'll put it in a little stand. Also receives some of this like graph paper with the grids. So the grids align to the board. Now, the game is you're trying to be the first person to draw out on your paper the position of everyone's planets. Of course, you can't see your opponent's board. You have yours in secret, they have yours in secret. And the game is simple. On my turn, right here on the grid, essentially there's numbers across the top, go to 1 through 11, and then down 12 to 18. And there's there's letters going from A to G and then H to R. So on your turn, you just name a letter or a number, and a laser is fired from that position, either up or across. So for instance, if I was to say 6, well, let's just do an easier one first. Let's say I say O, right here, O. So a laser would fire up through O, and it would just go out at 8. So it wouldn't hit anything. So if I did say O, and my opponent would say, they would just say 8, and that's it. They wouldn't say anything else. Now, so I know that whole column is empty. So I can, like on my paper, I can just cross out that column saying there was nothing there. Now, let's just say my opponent would hit 13. So right there at 13, it hits the flat spot of the planet. So it would go into the planet and then bounce straight back, right? So my opponent in this case, if I said 13, they would just say to me 13 yellow, right? Because it just bounces back. Now, the rule you have to learn is each planet has like a shape. We'll just put it right here. It has a shape. Like the yellow planet is like flat on all 4 sides, and each corner is a right angle. So if I was to hit this yellow planet at 12, for instance, on the corner, it would hit it and then bounce straight up. In this case, go out 11. So in this case, if I said 12 instead of 13, my opponent would say 11 yellow. And now I know I hit the top part of the planet and it went out. In this case, I would know exactly what planet it is and where it is, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So now what could be interesting is the ricochet element. So let me find an example here. So if I was to shoot a laser right here, if I was to shoot a laser at N would go up, bounce off of the blue planet, Earth, come over here to the yellow planet, bounce off of the yellow planet, come down to the red planet, and then go back to this planet, right? So it hits this planet. And then, of course, these red planets are basically squares. So in this case, it would go back here, back here, back here, and then off the board. So that would be a crazy one, actually. In this one, if he said N, I would say N, and then I would say, basically all I would say is N again, because it basically went boom, 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 and then right back out. But it hit 3 planets along the way. It hit a blue, a yellow, and a red. So on this paper here, it has all the color combinations you can get. Now red are just counted as once. Hit blue, yellow, and red. The answer is black. So in this case, it just says black. So if I hit those 3 colors, I would just say in black. Now they have the same cheat sheet, so they go, oh, okay, I hit a red planet, a yellow planet, and a blue planet. Now, they don't know if they hit 2 red planets or if they hit 1. Now I think because of how it bounced, they know they at least hit the red planet, at least a small one, because that's the only way it would probably bounce back. The other ones would probably hit angles. So there's all like those things you gotta consider. With the laser and how it bounces, you start to deduce like what planets it could have hit and then how it would have to hit. And the hardest part a lot of times is like, okay, I know I hit these planets, but where, in relative scale are they on the sheet, right? So we're on the board. Now that continues. You continue shooting lasers, and slowly, I don't know, I really enjoyed this game because the deduction is just fun, and you start to pinpoint, okay, I hit the yellow planet here. Maybe if I shoot from this angle, I can figure out, okay, how high it is. But sometimes you go figure out how high a planet is, and you hit another planet, which is okay, because depending on the one you hit, it gives you more information. And then ultimately, the goal of the game is just to get down to be the first person to say, I solved it, and you show your solution. Now, this is all or nothing. Once you show your solution, you got to be 100% correct, or you lost. Essentially, that's all it is. It's cool, yeah. Played twice the other day. Like I think 2 days ago we played twice. I loved it. It's one of those few games where I played once, and as soon as we finished, I was like, go again? Yeah, let's go again. Yeah, so anyways, this is Orapa Space. Fantastic game. Next up is Toy Battle. What a surprise. I've heard people say this game is good. And one of those games where you see it, like you see pictures of it, and you're like, this game doesn't look it doesn't look fun. I just didn't see it. It's one of those games, it just doesn't speak to me. Then you play it. And after the first game, you're like, all right, this game's good. Let's play more. I think the first time we played like 5 in a row, it was just like very addicting. Because once you start to understand the concepts, because at first you just don't quite get, obviously, strategy and how to win and what's the win conditions. But once you start to get that under your belt, it's like your mind opens up with all these ways to play this game. So let's just kind of get into an example of how it plays. So I said the cool thing about Toy Battles, it does come with a lot, pretty good components too. And it comes with like 8 different boards. Now there are 4 boards that are double-sided. So, the beginner board's great. And then I only played 1 other board, so I still have, 6 more boards I haven't even played yet. And all the boards have unique little things and twists to make them interesting. So here's the other 6 boards here, and here's the one we're gonna play with. This is like the beginner board, if you will. And then I didn't mention the box. I love boxes like this that just feel like they're like a tin. So this box feels like it's gonna be like a lunchbox. It's fantastic. My one qualm is why do they only give you 1 player aid? I feel like, come on. We're 2025, paper isn't that expensive. You can make 2 player aids. Because I feel like this is the kind of game where you have like 8 different characters, that's it. They're easy to learn. Now that I played, they're easy to learn, but when you're first playing, you don't know what anything is, and you constantly have to pass this around. So that's my only qualm. Very minor gripe. Overall, fantastic game. Still love it. Okay, all set up. Now, in the game, there's 2 ways to win. There's these little tokens, and on each board, there's like a certain minimum amount to collect to win. In this case, 7. If I can get 7 of these star tokens, I win the game. That's one way. And the other way is to get your troops all the way across the board to the opposing side. Now I realize this board is backwards because the red is facing the wrong way, so I'm just going to do that. Now what that means is if I can get my characters in a straight line down any path to the other side like this, so basically like that, or I can even deviate, like I can have it like this. As long as I can draw a path from my base to their base and then take it over, that's the other way you can win. And now, on your turn, you go and do 1 of 2 things. You can draw 2 tokens and add them to your board, right? To a maximum of 8. The nice part is they do have it worked out just perfectly where these stands fit exactly 8. I'm going to make sure I'm not a liar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. So the stands do fit exactly the number, which is nice. You don't have to like count. If you spread them out and you fit them apart, you're at your limit. You can't add any more. So how you gather these token icons is by surrounding it, right? So for instance, if I wanted to get this icon here, I would have to have my troops in all 3 spots like this. And once I'm in all 3 spots, I can then get this one. If I wanted these 3 here, I need to be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots to get those, right? So getting all 5. Now it gets dicey because this one in the middle, my opponent also needs that one to get their big pool of tokens. So how do you get this one gets a little bit spicy because you're like, okay, a lot of times you gotta be a little bit sly about it because each character has his own powers. So sometimes like they might be fighting over there's a spot, like you're fighting back and forth over control of the spot, because you can stack in this game. I should know that. Each character has his own number, and essentially you can stack on somebody else's character, including your own, as long as your number is higher than the number that was there before. So that's something to keep in mind, because right now, if I need to get control of this guy, depending on the combination, for instance, I'll just show you a cool little combo. Let's just say that wasn't there. And it had this jumbo robot guy. If I was to play him, for instance, there, it destroys adjacent troop of my opponent here. So this would just get knocked away, but it exposes one of my previous placed pieces. So what that does is now opens up, now I have all of these surrounded, so now I would win these things. So those are the kind of combos that make this game super interesting for me. Also, like comboing those things with like the soldier is really good, because the soldier lets you go twice. So if you can go once and then play again and then play the robot guy and then he shoots the guy, you can technically get like 3 things on the board in a kind of a roundabout way, which is super powerful if you're trying to like, obviously you're going head to head. You got to figure out a way to get more pieces on the board than your opponent can cover up. So I'm not going to go through every single power. I'm not going to bore you guys to death, but just know that, figuring out how the pieces interconnect and ways you can do combo, especially when you play on other boards, there's different rules, like certain spots you can only play a certain number or higher. So that starts to open up, okay, limitation, how do I get around that? How do I, So it's a very clever game. I really enjoy it. It's just fun to think through the problem. And obviously, I like games like this too, where you're given a limited number of pieces and you're like, okay, with these combinations, what combo can I make, right? How can I extend my turn? How do I stop it's just that it's fun for me. This is a great game, Toy Battle, really enjoy it. And definitely should check it out. So which of these 2 games would you want to try first? Toy Battle or Orapa Space? They're both great. Honestly, you can't go wrong, but I'd love to hear from the comment what your opinions are. And of course, hit subscribe, like all that good stuff. I love to hear from you guys. Like I said, it keeps me motivated. Every time I see someone subscribe, I just get a surge of energy and I want to make more videos and show you more games because I love games and I'm pretty sure you guys do too. All right, take care.